Hello, welcome to the Q&A practice for the 225 class. We're going to start off with some Q&A and the plaintiff attorney will be questioning. Ready? I have not introduced myself. I am the Assistant District Attorney and I am conducting this examination under the supervision and instructions of the coroner. I am about to ask you some questions. I want you to tell me, and under the laws of this state and under the laws of the Constitution of this state, you have a perfect legal right to refuse to answer any question that I may ask, and you also have a right not to offer any information that might tend to incriminate you. A person has the right to refuse to give any information that might tend to prove you guilty of a crime. Do you understand that? Yes. Now that I have explained that to you, do you wish to testify? Yes. Do you waive your constitutional rights? I do. How old are you at the present time? 28. Are you a married man? I am. Do you have any children? Yes, 3. What kind of work do you do? I am a salesman for a pharmaceutical company called Finn West. Where is the main office? Right here in this city. Temple? Yes. Do you work on the road that is over a territory? Right. On the day of June 6th, were you driving a car? I was. Where were you driving to? What was your destination? To Springfield. Were you traveling on business? Well, no, I was traveling through to start work Tuesday. I was to be in Springfield Tuesday. I was supposed to work in that area there the next day. Were you driving by yourself? Yes, I was. There was no one with you in the car? No, there wasn't. Where did you cut off the main highway? I don't know if there is a city there or not. I haven't been in this area so long and I was not sure. I am not familiar with this area. When did you leave for this trip? I had breakfast and picked up my car at the repair shop. Did you have anything to drink that morning before leaving on this trip? No. You picked your car up at what time? I was there about 9 o'clock. On the entire trip, from the time you left until the time of the accident, were you alone? That is right. Did you stop any place after you left the city of Temple? Yes, my engine was a little warm and I stopped to take a look at it. While the man was looking at it, I had a bottle of Coke and a bag of potato chips. Where was this? I don't know, just a gas station out of town a few miles. Did you have anything to drink anywhere along the way? No. No beer or alcohol? Before or after? Did you have any after that then? Yes, I did. I had 1 bottle of beer between North River and South River. Did you have more than 1 bottle? No. Did you stop for lunch anywhere? No. You had no lunch up to the time of the accident? Right. As you were riding along, did you have any difficulty in driving? No. Were you tired at all? No. How long have you been driving a car? For 10 years. Hadn't you planned on having lunch? Yes, but the accident took place before I came to a good place to eat. Will you tell us what the traffic was like after you got out of the road or after you got onto the road? There was quite some traffic on the road, fairly heavy. Both ways? Yes. How fast were you driving? Around 70 in there. Did you pass a number of cars? I passed some and several passed me. I don't know how many. Can you remember anything that might have interfered with your driving? No, I can't. Could you have fallen asleep? No. And do you say you were not under the influence of liquor of any kind? No. Do you remember where this happened? Well, just this side of the river. I am not too familiar with the highway. This is the first time I had ever driven on this particular highway. Do you know if the accident took place on a curve of the road or was it on a straight stretch? A little curve, a very gradual curve, but it was definitely a curve. Was it before you made the turn onto the curve or after you had started the curve? I was on the curve at the time. Did you pass any cars while you were on the curve before the accident happened? I can't remember too much of the details. I wasn't keeping too close of track of what happened. I didn't know it was going to happen. I wasn't prepared for it. Did you see this car coming toward you that was involved in this accident with you? Well, just like you see any car that is coming toward you when you are driving, you don't pay much attention to it. Can you say how far ahead of you this car was when you first noticed it? I don't know for sure. Do you have a conscious recollection of seeing it some distance away, or was it there all of a sudden? No, it was there coming toward me. On which side of the road were you when it was coming toward you? Oh, I was on my own side of the road, I remember that. Does the road have a center line in it? Yes, I think so. I am not too sure. A mark or a marking or a divider? I think so, yes. It divides the road into 2 halves. I was well against the center line. Were you over the center line? I might have been a little bit. Well, okay. I wasn't paying too much attention. Do you recall anything about the location other than the automobile? I mean, while it was approaching you? We were coming toward each other and I just started to pull over like that. Just a moment. Pull over like what? I mean, I started to move toward my own side of the road, more that way. Had you been hugging the center line up to that time? Yes. You pulled over more toward your side? Yes. And you got closer to the other car? Yes. Where was he when you started to do that? I can't tell just how far, but he was pretty close to me at that time. What do you mean by pretty close? I don't know just how close. Half a block, 2 blocks away? Maybe. Okay, I'm going to change transcripts. And defense will be questioning with this one. Ready? Did you turn your back to the dog when you ran into the house? Yes. How far inside the garage were you when you turned around and ran to the house? I was like 2 feet in the garage, 1 feet. Then you turned your back on the dog and ran straight for the door into the house? Yes. Did you ever look back while you were running to the house? No. Was the door open that led into the house from the inside of the garage? No, it was closed. Did you have to open it? Yes. Did you look back at any time as you were opening the door to get into the house? No. When you went to shut the door behind you, did you look outside? No. So would it be fair to say that the last time you saw Daniel and the dog was right before you turned your back and ran towards the house? Yes. And you never looked back? Was that a no? It was a no. Okay, just to make sure I'm clear, the last time you saw Daniel and the dog was when you turned your back and started running towards the house, right? Yes. And then you never looked back again, right? No, that's not true. You didn't look back again? No, I didn't look back. Okay, when you came back out of the house, did you go back into the garage the same way you went into the house, through the same door? Yeah. Did you know the dog was gone before you opened the door from the house to go back into the garage? No. Did you check before you went into the garage from the house? Yeah. How did you do that? When I opened the door, I went outside. I leaned this way to see if the dog was still there, and it was gone, and Daniel was just now hopping into the garage. Was he actually inside the garage when you first saw him after you opened the door from the inside of the house looking out into the garage? Yeah. How far into the garage was he? Just barely, like 3 feet or 2 feet. Did he say anything to you at all? No. What was he doing when he was hopping? Just hopping. Anything else? No, saying my leg was hurt and stuff like that. He said my leg was hurting? He said my leg hurts, my leg hurts. Did he say anything else to you as he hopped towards you and you opened the door for him to go into the house? No. Was he crying at all? Yes. Were you crying at all during that time? Yes. When you were in the garage before you went back into the house, were you crying? Yes. That's while he was hopping in the garage? Yes. Do you know why you were crying? No. When did you first start to cry? When I came into the house. When you went into the house the first time? Yes. I'm sorry. When you ran into the house after you turned your back on the dog and your brother? Yes. Has the fact that your brother was bitten by the dog ever caused you any problems after the day of the dog bite in any way? No. Never bothered you? Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm not sure he understands what he means by problems. I was going to clarify. Go ahead. Did you ever get upset because you saw Daniel injured? He had injured his leg from the dog? No. Okay. Were you ever bothered by it at all in any way? No. I don't have any further questions. Counsel? Thank you. My name is Roya Denham, and I represent the Stolls. There's a few quick questions. You went through the little door in the garage right into the house? Yes. That was after the dog. You saw the dog going at Daniel? Yes. Then after you entered that or opened that door, did the door close behind you? No, I closed it. You closed it? Then, yes, I closed it. Okay, where did you go from there? I went into the kitchen. Who was in the kitchen? My mom and my sister. Then what did you tell them? I told them that David was being attacked by a dog. Were you crying at that time? Yes. When you were telling them, were you talking like you are today, or were you screaming? How were you? I was just talking. I was like yelling. Then after you had yelled about the attack on your brother, then what did you do? They just followed me. I opened the door and then Daniel just hopped in and fell down on the floor and the neighbor came and wrapped the towel around his leg. You said they followed you, so your mom and your sister were behind you? Yes. And you were the one who opened the little door again to the garage? Yes. And your mom was behind you at that point? Yes. Were you afraid to open that door? No. You weren't afraid the dog might be there? No. Is there any reason why your mom didn't open the door for you? No. After you opened the door, did you go into the garage? Yes. How far into the garage did you go? Still barely. I think I went like 4 or 5 feet. Was the door still open? I'm talking about the little door to the garage. Yes. Was somebody holding it open? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Was your mom behind you while you were inside the garage, 4 or 5 feet into the garage? I don't know. While you were inside the garage, were you afraid? No. Were you crying? Yes. Did you at any point from the first time you started crying actually strike that? How long were you crying for? I don't know. Okay, that concludes our Q&A practice for the 225 class. Have a great day.